Effective Healthcare Leadership During COVID. Mark Tura, Grand Canyon University, AMP 450V Leadership Class with Dr. Price. Leadership is both a position and a responsibility. In allied health, both formal and informal leadership have roles. The way we lead best in health involves specific skills of leadership and being able to adapt to different teams. All allied health professionals will take positions as informal leaders. Patients and new staff look to our word and actions for direction on how to react to situations. While formal leaders are assigned by administration, natural reflections of the group reveal themselves through informal leadership. Understanding each role and the effectiveness of each leadership style is essential for gaining skills to both follow and lead others of different backgrounds. Diversity. Diversity. Here we go. Different styles of management will produce different goals. When changes are needed, often new management styles are used to accomplish new goals. Learning to become introspective of one's own emotional quotient, or EQ, how we respond under stress, and observing the areas where we fail as leaders is the way to observe differences in others that can be used in team collaboration rather than divisively. Cultural awareness stems from learning our own implicit bias and our understanding that our own cultural background is not understood by everyone in the world, just as we don't understand all cultures intrinsically. Leadership style is how the manager distributes and controls health goals. It's important for leaders to understand different types of leadership in order to identify and adapt to the different styles of management that are needed. Leadership is demonstrated through our actions and how we attempt to motivate others as well. It is important for healthcare leaders to understand different styles of leadership in order to become a cohesive team member. Two leadership styles that are effective in healthcare are authoritative and team collaborative leaders. Authoritarian leadership. Authoritarian style of management is best for emergency situations. Managers are those who think independently, often use authority as doctors or specialists to identify and make quick decisions. Mind Tools 2020. While ideal for emergencies when fast decisions are needed, authoritarian leaders are often lack the same respect when not in the emergency situations. Workers do not respond well to authoritarian leadership for longer periods of time, which may be the reason for higher turnover of staff in medical facilities. In authoritarian leadership, the human aspects of being human are sacrificed for the larger goals of their organization. Outside of the emergency events, the authoritarian leadership leads to separation between the workers and the management, which is directly opposite of the goal of team cohesion as the model for efficiency in healthcare. While myopic in application, authoritarian leadership does not well to integrate employees and build team cohesion either. Democratic leaders. Democratic leader creates a way for all the employees to feel like their voice is being heard. Often, democratic leadership will provoke new and interesting ideas and solutions to problems that have been around for a while. This type of management takes more time to develop correctly, but increases overall happiness of the employees. Mind Tools 2020. Democratic leadership reveals the hierarchy and makes the employees feel accepted and listened to. New approaches often yield strong long-term cohesion for the group as well. Now, democratic leadership has advantages to extract creative ideas out of the employees by ingratiating them, by requesting employee opinions about their observations. Democratic leadership builds tremendous team cohesion and long-term employment because the workers feel that they really have invested in the same goals as the managers. Characteristics of good leaders. Identifying diversity in the workforce helps to provide better care by including as many cultural perspectives as we can in order to meet the needs of our diverse groups of patients. Diversity first comes through introspection of one's own life. After understanding where our thoughts are based, it helps to understand that those who are different than us may have much different perspectives and they might be similar as well. This allows the strong leader to identify a cultural difference and then put in more effort to try to understand, accept, and work with the diversity in the workforce. If all healthcare workers start with trying to accommodate foreign cultures, then the workplace starts to adapt to the new cultures, which reduces the individual bias as those cultures which used to be foreign begin to be more common and natural in the environment. Effective leadership has an indirect impact on reducing mortality rates by inspiring, retaining, and supporting experienced staff, according to Palaru in 2017. When workers see that an effective leader is healthy, happy, they have a model to work from to attain the same goal, even if the spirits are down and the leader is not around. According to Boyatzis and McGee, resonant leaders are mindful, compassionate, and hopeful, and are skilled at eliciting affiliative and affirmative emotions in others. There seems to be an agreement that the best leaders are self-aware, self-regulating, and attuned to the diverse perspectives needed and the abilities of their followers to the requirements of the situation. Weiss, 2018. Weiss goes on to say that resonant leaders are a perfect mix of mindfulness, hope, and compassion for others. Diversity. Christian worldview accepts assumptions about God and Jesus. One assumption is that since the fall, we're all sinners. With this assumption, we can start to use the word accept to create certain things about ourselves that aren't maybe so perfect. Each human has implicit bias in every thought we have. Accept, the word accept, means to acknowledge the mentality that you're inclined to lean to an opinion. Weiss, 2018. By first accepting that we have faults and then working on them, we mitigate our implicit bias by our efforts to overcome them. We do this by observing and mirror behavior of strong leaders or having mentors. After accepting our fault, we can name it and then strategize on how to overcome it. A strong strategy for overcoming implicit bias is to use tools to create diagrams and analysis. Participation and a growth mindset will also allow the individual to observe their own implicit bias and overcome it. This is an invisible challenge, unlike most quantifiable healthcare concerns in allied health. These two aspects of our behavior, the visual and the invisible, affect how a group operates together. Weiss, 2018. Personnel. Emotional quotient. A great leader will observe the EQ of each worker and try to make the work environment organized so that those with lower EQ do not get submerged in more emotional events. Leaders with high EQ must be put in charge in order to show leadership skills on how to persevere through stressful events. Emotional quotient can be categorized by observations of each worker, self-awareness, self-management, and their ability to manage relationships with others. Is the worker aware of their own weaknesses, or have they not done the introspection required to overcome their own bias? Are they strictly serious, or can they laugh about their flaws and correct them? Weiss, 2018. Organizational power. The 6 categories of power can be remembered by the mnemonic RELIC, RRELIC. Reward. Leaders who offer rewards, such as payment to the employee, will be a natural hierarchy where leadership qualities are essential. Authoritarian leaders who hold pay from employees create negative dynamics and have considerable fallout compared to team leadership models. Referent. Referent power assumes power lays with the highest authority figure, such as a doctor or police officer, being assumed the leader of a group. Expertise. A doctor of a medic is often looked at for answers about assumptions based on their education and their expertise in the field. You call a plumber to do plumbing, an electrician to do electricity. A legitimate leader, this is the person who is in charge, where others assume that they are leadership, such as a CEO or a principal of a school. Informational leaders. The power of information from recent graduates often will be new information to a healthcare setting that demonstrates new power introduced into a group. And finally, coercion. When negative consequences exist, such as being fired from your job, those who hold those leadership restrictions against each individual hold coercive power, such as managers making pay cuts or demotions due to performance from administration. Weiss, 2018. Society. Surface level dimensions of diversity include gender, race, and perceived age. They are often phenotypic genetic characteristics that are expressed in how we look, sound, or behave. Saladin, 2019. Deeper level characteristics of diversity include a person's values, beliefs, and their worldview. Multicultural. Increasing empathy for others, self-control, and self-awareness increases a person's emotional quotient. Weiss, 2018. I created an acronym called C to remember that. Self-control, empathy, awareness. After consistent training, an improved EQ will result in less implicit bias and higher health outcomes for patients. This role will show others how to overcome EQ challenges they too encounter in their work. Global values. With communicable disease from COVID-19 now affecting the entire world at over 2,000 diagnoses per day, global initiatives must be created with vertical integration from other countries' data. Patients are succumbing to COVID-19 all over the world. Global leadership involves more than planning and strategizing public health outreach. The technological infrastructure must be connected through partnerships, which are humans collaborating with each other in medical facilities in order to provide the best care we can for our little microsystems of healthcare facilities that we work at that are impacted by these global health threats. In less than 1 week, the world was introduced to 1 million new cases here in America of COVID-19. A global picture of healthcare is necessary in order to address the challenges that we Americans face here at home and in our local hospitals. Finally, in conclusion, leadership style, it must be adaptable and produce quality teamwork. Formal leaders are assigned to those who will build relationships and complete tasks. Weiss, 2018. Positional power as the formal leader. Positioned in power as the formal leader must be adaptable. The best leaders can shift their style to what is appropriate and move from task completion to relationship building. Weiss, 2018.